when you are an editor, you're learning to be a better director, and when you're a director, you're learning to be a better editor. So it's in the same like how to say it's same path, I would say.
Welcome to the Dead Harvey podcast. This is Brad Paulson, and this is the place for independent horror filmmakers and fans. Today we have Fady Jeanbart. Welcome to the podcast, Fady.
Thank you.
Did I say your first
today.
name right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. The third time is a charm. We did some practice ones before this.
You did it.
All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about, this is very cool because you are an editor and you have a pretty cool history. So we're going to get into that, and then we're going to be talking about the movie that you worked on recently, Till Death Do Us Part, made by the producers of Final Destination. Those movies are fantastic. That plane scene that Devon Sawa goes out and warns people about in the first movie, every time I take a flight, that goes into my mind. I'm saying, should you rebook or get a different ticket or just drive for 3 days?
Yeah. It was very famous, actually, brand in even in my home country. It was very famous too. So when I knew like who's writing this film, it's the same guy from Final Destination, I was like, okay, you know what, I would like to work with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
The description of this one's kind of like a weird version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's after bailing on her wedding, a former bride-to-be must fight off her ex-groom and 7 angry killer groomsmen in order to survive the night. That does remind me of, like, did Snow White get herself in a bad situation? But this also reminds me of, it had elements to, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but it had elements of True Romance, a little bit of that in there, a little bit of one of my favorite movies, Very Bad Things, as well, too.
Okay.
I did notice some music cues from True Romance in the beginning of it, where Patricia Arquette does the opening narration. It has that little that music in the background. That seemed to be very similar to this one, or it may have been the same song, but it drew me back to that.
It's very similar. Yeah. No, it's very cool, actually, especially in this film. It's not like traditional horror movie. It's everything. It has horror, thriller, action, comedy. It was very cool, like, to have all the genres in the same film, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you have a really interesting background because you were born and raised in Egypt, right?
Yes.
I did. Yeah. Where a lot of people go from like Iowa or Ohio to get into the business, you went all the way from Egypt. So tell me about how filmmaking got into your blood and what made you decide to take the journey here.
So first of all, I wanted to be a filmmaker since I was a kid. Since the first time I watched a very famous movie called Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg. And I was like, everyone was fascinated with the world and everything, but for me, I was like, who did this? Who created this world? And I began to watch a lot of Steven Spielberg films, and actually is my favorite, of course. And then I began to watch a lot of movies and began to think about anything wrong with the edit or acting or these kind of things. As a kid, I was just playing. And then after graduating from high school in Egypt, I decided to come here and study filmmaking. So I came here, I started filmmaking. I started in New York Film Academy in Los Angeles here. And after this, I began working. I directed a lot of short films. I went to film festivals. The Red went to film festivals, was marked in the Cannes Film Festival in 2018, and I directed another short film after, and then I edit Studio City. It's an Emmy Award TV show, Studio City, with the same director of Till Death Do Us Part, Emmy Award winning Timothy Woodward Jr. And then after this, Studio City season 1 and 2, I edited this film with him.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Very simple. Yeah, very quick.
Yeah.
Introduction.
Did you ever have so when you were going through your whole journey of here and getting here and trying to find work here, did you ever have any moments that were like, oh damn, maybe I should head back, or maybe I should get into something different? And what was it that made you kind of stay and stick it out?
Well, of course, sometimes you have these moments, especially in this industry. It's very tough. It's very competitive and everything. Sometimes I would say not heading back. I like here. I like working in Hollywood here and everything, and I like the culture here. I like living here too, and So I didn't think like I will go back or something, but to change the career or something, of course, in the beginning, you don't know what you want to do. You don't know if you're good enough, these kind of things. So of course you don't know, so of course, yeah, some moments, but passed. So
yeah, awesome. I'm glad you stuck it out and that you're working. And that seems to be the thing, is like if people just stick it out long enough, eventually something cool is going to happen. But it sounded like with you, how long did you start getting work after you graduated?
So actually, you'd be surprised. So since I was a student, I was working a lot. And in this time, of course, they were not really paying students. Now I think by law you need to pay students on set and everything. So I did everything on set. I was grip, PA, AD, sound, DP, everything you can even imagine. Because I wanted to learn everything. I wanted to know everything. Of course, my passion is I want to be a film director, but in the same time, I want to learn everyone's doing what, to know everything. So I worked since I was a student, and then after graduating, I worked a lot after. Yeah.
Awesome. See, I think editing is one of the biggest, if not almost the biggest component of filmmaking, because half of the movie is made when you shoot it, and then the other half is made when you edit it. So how important do you think it is for people that are getting into filmmaking that want to be directors to learn editing first?
I think it's very important, actually. I didn't think about it when I began like editing. I was like, no, I don't know if this is the right way for me and this stuff. But of course, after I got in, I enjoyed it and everything, and I learned a lot, because to be an editor, when you are an editor, you're learning to be a better director, and when you're a director, you're learning to be a better editor. So it's in the same like, how to say, it's same path, I would say. Not very the same path, but you know what I mean. Like, you will take the best cut, you will take the best shot, you will take the best take, you will take, and everything. I always say it, don't get me wrong, everything is naked in front of me. You're hearing everyone between the sounds. You're hearing what the director is telling this actor, this actress, right? So you are learning while you're editing, and this is the best way to direct later, and you have very good relationship with the director, of course, because you're sitting in post-production with him every day, or her every day. So you're learning, you're fighting with him, you're laughing with him, you're doing everything with him for months. So of course, this is how you can be better in what you're doing, and director or editing or in the film industry.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I think that's fantastic. So I am wearing this Hawaiian shirt here as a tribute to Jason Patric for being in this movie. This movie has a great cast. I've always loved Jason Patric as an actor. There's something about him that has such an incredible screen presence. Whole cast in this movie is great, and I could see where you could have like a lot of the actors were probably improving. I don't know if that's true or not, but how much liberty do you have as an editor in this situation with like picking something that's not in the script?
Like cast them, you mean?
As far as in like lines of dialogue they use that are different from the script?
Oh, no, yeah, I was using a lot of lines, of course, that they were doing, but like talking about Jason Patric, for example, he was very smooth person to edit, because he's very he's one of the best actors in this film, and it was very easy, I would say, to cut his lines and these kind of things.
And he probably knows when to, because he's been in the business so long, he probably can anticipate like when you're probably going to cut on something, or when to pause between lines, or
yeah, 100%. I mean, also not only Jason Patric, I mean, Natalie Byrne, for example, the lead actress, she was very easy also to edit. She was very good. She did all the action scenes by herself. Maybe like two things, like it was not her, but everything was her. She's very good. She was a ballerina, so she was very flexible and everything, and very fast. We had Orlando Jones is very good too. We had Pancho Moller, the funny guy.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Little People. He's fantastic.
Cam Gigante, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was in Twilight, and then also, what was the movie that I watched recently? Oh, Violent Night. Violent Night is awesome.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. I remember this one.
Yeah, so this now this is what I appreciated on this, watching it as an audience member, is that the fight scenes did not feel like they were speeded up. So my question to you is about like fight scenes. Seems like they would be one of the more difficult things to edit in a movie like this. So what kind of challenges did that present to you, and how did you fix them?
Well, the fight scene, especially because also we had, I don't know if you watched the movie, but we had music all the time. You remember that? We had old music and everything. So this was very tough because sometimes you go to classic music and at the same time they are fighting, or sometimes you go to the like very hip hop like music or something like this, or rock or something like this. So what I did is I did my best in the action moments, the action sequence is cutting them without even dialogue, without any. I just put a music, whatever it is. I didn't know that we'll put this music or no, but I just put a music and I was just cutting it. It's something like Michael Bay doing it, like action moments and these kind of things. And it really helped me because as if like I'm editing a music video. You know what I mean? And if you can notice like some wides and angles, it's literally like the dance between the groom and the bride is very music video style. I wanted to do this way, like music video and this stuff. And of course, Timothy Woodward Jr., he wanted to do like the same. He told me how he wanted and everything, and we worked together, and it was like that. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's great. So you put a song to it, and then you feel like kind of what essentially the mood is going to be like when you edit it, and then you can basically time the edits based on that. Yeah, because it does go back and forth between kind of different moods, and they're not necessarily like a great movie as a sales pitch for a marriage, but that's okay. Marriage seems to have more drawbacks than it did before. What was also great, what I also appreciated about it is the fact that they explained why she was so trained. I don't want to give anything away about why she was so trained, but they explained why there's a reason why she's so deadly in this, and why the people that she faces off against with are so deadly as well too. Because otherwise, if a bride's going to say like, you know what, I don't feel like getting married today, let's call it off. The groomsmen are probably just going to say like, well, let's just go like bowl a few frames, or go see a movie, or get a couple of drinks.
You're right. Yeah.
But this
explains this, you know why.
But this
why she's doing all this.
Why the till death do us part thing incorporates more than just the bride and the groom in this movie.
True. The movie actually was not called Till Death Do Us Part. It was The Groomsmen. But after this,
it was. So the original title was The Groomsmen?
The Groomsmen. I mean, when the script came to me, it was The Groomsmen or Bride Runaway. Runaway Bride. Sorry, Runaway Bride. Sorry.
Runaway Bride. Runaway Bride 2.
Runaway Bride or the Groomsmen.
Sequel with more gore than the Julia Roberts.
I know. Yeah. But it made sense. I mean, when people watch it, it made sense in the end. It's still that those sport. So,
what do you think is the best kind of editing software to use all around?
Oh, that's very tough. It depends. I would say it depends. I work on all the softwares. I work on Premiere, Avid, Final Cut, DaVinci. I mean, these are the four top, I would say. I work on everything. So it depends on the project. It depends on the director. Sometimes the directors like, no, I want to be in Premiere. I want to work on Avid, whatever it is. I'll be like, okay, sure, I mean, whatever. Anything would help me working and doing the best for the project itself, I would do it. So there's no like, I don't think there's an editor who will say like, oh yeah, only Avid or only Premiere, only something like this. I would say, especially nowadays. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah.
What is the most common software that you've seen used, or
Avid?
Avid. Okay.
Avid. I mean, when we learned in film school, it was Avid. We, as like editors, I would say we like Avid, but it depends. Also, still it depends. But I think that big studios, they are using Avid.
That's interesting, because it's kind of everything kind of seems to have branched off of that, though, right? Because wasn't Avid one of the very first kind of non-linear editing platforms that was created? But also it depends on the project. Like if music video, maybe I'll not go for Avid, maybe I'll go for Premiere or Final Cut or DaVinci, it's or commercial or something. Avid. Okay. So if you're going to be an editor, you got to know Avid, basically. Yeah, if you're going to be a professional editor.
I think if you want to be like a professional editor, you need to know everything, of course. But Avid is number one, I would say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
This is all kind of subjective. What do you think is what do you find the most enjoyable to work with personally? Like that just kind of, is it Avid that works the best for you, or like user
I love
friendly, I guess
it.
I would say, or yeah.
Using friendly, I will not say using friendly,
Okay.
but I love it.
Yeah.
Since maybe also this is personal for me because this is what I learned at school.
Yeah.
So maybe it makes sense that I will love the first thing that I learned, because a lot of people actually began with iMovie, so they will go to Final Cut because iMovie is very close to Final Cut. So some Premiere is very famous because the Adobe Suite and everything. So I mean, I use After Effects too, so I use everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah. So, I think the important lesson there is to know everything that you can. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What did you take away from this movie that you didn't learn in other movies, or what kind of experience did you gain from working on this movie Till Death Do Us Part?
A lot. Working with Timothy. I mean, Timothy is not only an Emmy Award winning, he's a very good director, and also he's one of my mentors too, and he's my friend too. So it's like everything, like the relationship with him every day, it helped me a lot, like to communicate right with a director in his stage, in his level. So communicating helped me with some action style, because he did before action movies. It helped me with what I would say, a lot of things like tight time. For example, I didn't know that I can edit in very like short time, and I did it, and it was okay. It was tough, but at the same time, okay, you know what, I can do it. These kind of things you learn, and also sometimes you surprise yourself. Oh yeah, I couldn't know that I can do this. I couldn't know that I can work on After Effects. I worked on After Effects on this project and the project before. So like, okay, yeah, wow, okay, I can do this. I can do that. You know what I mean? So it surprised me actually. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Did this movie use a different kind of were there different editing programs that were put together when you used this movie? Like, or
we used different few. Yeah, we used few softwares. And of course with the and after me, of course, the sound and the color, I don't know, their softwares, maybe DaVinci for color and Pro Tools for sound, but in general, yeah, of course, we used everything. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you also go to did you go to a specialized editing school as well too after your main film school, or?
No. So what happened is I was on set as DIT, one of the sets as DIT. DIT is just transfer the footage and maybe sync. Maybe you have like the first cut if you're like fast or something. And after this, the DIT, I became the editor of this project, and they liked my cut, just like this. They liked my cut, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I will go and I will begin path for editing. Yeah. Maybe it will work. And while I was editing one of the projects, after I was literally like reading about editing, reading about everything, like what the best cut, why this is bad, why this is good, what are the softwares, like the keyboard keywords and these kind of things to be fast. And I did read the books, these kind of things. But I would say I was not really specific for editing at school because it was filmmaking. So we studied directing, screenwriting, cinematography, editing, producing. So we studied everything, but it was not like just editing or just directing. But it helped me to study everything, basics and this stuff. I'm like, okay, I like this, I like that, I like this. And of course, because I worked a lot, so I'm like, okay, I like this and I don't like this. I will not do this, I will do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, let's it was great speaking with you, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you so much.
And where do you have a website where we can check out where people can check out some of your work, or?
Just IMDb now.
Okay.
Just my IMDb, and also my Instagram. Just my Instagram now. Yeah, it's Fady_Jeanbart.
Okay, great. Do you have anything that you're working on next, or any kind of like independent projects you're thinking of making in the near future here?
So there are two short films I'm going to edit soon. And there's a reality show I'm going to edit soon. And there's another short film I'm going to direct. So these are the 4 projects that I'm focused on them right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
sweet. We were speaking with Fady Jeanbart on the Dead Harvey podcast. He's the editor of Till Death Do Us Part and some other exciting projects. Check out his work on Instagram and look him up on IMDb. And thank you so much for talking to us. This is really cool to get an editor's perspective.
Thank you. My pleasure.